Good morning, beautiful people. I am out here in these streets per usual, and I wanted to have a quick conversation with you guys about what it means when a man says this is a phase. So, if you know me, you know I just get right into the conversation. I don't really wait for people to join the live because always you guys can slide that bar on back and catch the replay. So, let's talk about it. What does it mean when a man says this is a phase? So, and this is really in relation to relationships. So, if you're dealing with a dude, he's displaying some questionable, inappropriate behavior over an extended period of time. And when you confront him about this behavior, he goes ahead and tells you, you don't need to go to overreact because this is just a phase, right? Like this is a phase. And I want to really break down that word phase. So if you were to actually look up the definition of the word phase, it would tell you that it's one of the definitions is that it's a process of development, right? So if a man is displaying questionable behavior over and over and over and over and over again, and he's telling you, nah, it's just a phase. It's a part of the process. This just, something I just need to get through. I'm working on some stuff. But all of the things that he seems to be working on fall into the category of questionable, negative, draining, toxic behavior. You need to really ask yourself, is this a phase? Is this a phase? And if it is a phase, right? Because let's talk about the word, what type of attitudes, long-term side effects, and ongoing challenges are you developing? Because if you want to devote your time and energy to phases, to developing yourself in a negative way, how can I as a woman have any expectation that all this energy and effort you are putting into your stages of development, your quote unquote phase, is going to turn itself around? Because you are what you invest your time in. So if you invest your time in BS and bullcrap and hanging around people who do not serve your highest good, where's that going to lead you? And then the better question is, where's that going to lead me? Because if I'm allowing you, or if I'm hanging around with you, because you can't allow nobody to do anything, but if I'm hanging around you, supporting you, and standing by your side through the thick of your phase, your stage of development, then what am I developing myself for? Because I am also present in the same energy that you are present in. You know how people say there's like six degrees of separation between you and the life that you want? It's so close. Like the the life that you want is only 6 degrees away at a max. I don't care who you are in the world. I don't care if your goal is to meet Beyonce, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, whoever, like whoever your biggest celebrity is that you are dying to meet, you are only 6 degrees of separation away from them. And when you hang around somebody who is a criminal, who does questionable things, who doesn't add any type of positive value to your life, you are 1 degree a separation from a life you do not want. 1 degree a separation away from poverty, from jail time, from ruined career. You are 1 degree a separation from that. 1 degree of separation away, all because you decided to stick beside somebody while they went through their stage, their phase, their process of development. No, your process of development ain't got nothing at all to do with me, because I am like the moon and I got to work on my own phases. When you think about the moon has its shadow period, it has its half moon, quarter moon, full moon. The full moon signifies a new beginning. It signifies a new beginning, a changing of the tide. And it's oftentimes like you need to ask yourself, like, when does it become a full moon for you? And I mean this like in a metaphoric sense, not like a like when is it a full moon? When is enough enough? When is enough enough? When is enough enough? When is it like, nah, you know? And I think ultimately what it boils down to, because I've had so many conversations with women, in areas of self-esteem and self-development, and what I've ultimately found is that it all boils down to like half glass half full versus glass half empty mentality. This is what it all, boils down to at the end of the day. And I think that there's a host of women. Wait, who came into the chat? Hey T, good morning. Oh, I'm not getting locked into anyone's. Absolutely not. But it all boils down to half glass half full versus glass half empty mentality. But when you break down what you're actually talking about, like really let's think about it. Like glass half full, glass half empty. Most people who find themselves in a bad situation often say like, I don't know how this could get better. Like this is the best I could do. Or they say like, oh, this is the worst. This is the worst it could get for me. Like, I don't want to be single. I don't want to be single with kids. I don't want to be single for the rest of my life. I don't want to never have children. Like, I got to stick in this bad situation because I'm afraid. I'm so terrified of what's on the other side of my unfortunate circumstances. But imagine a world where because no one has a crystal ball to see into the future. We are literally creating the future moment by moment. Every decision we make, every choice we make, every question we don't answer, every question we do answer, every thought that crosses our mind, like we are absolutely 100% creating the reality that we are existing in moment to moment. So imagine a world where you say, you know what, I am going to use my power. I'm going to use my energy and my efforts to create a better reality for myself and for my family. I'm creating a better reality. And I do not have time to believe the lies that even you may be telling yourself, because it's true. Like we tell ourselves lies. We do. Every human being does it. And I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. But everybody tells themselves lies in order to get through whatever situation they are in. We all tell ourselves self lies. But imagine a world where the lies that you told yourself could be something that could change the trajectory of your future forever. Like, imagine if you could wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I am not going to be afraid of walking away from situations and people who no longer serve me. I am not going to be afraid to disappoint people who put an expectation on me that I cannot live up to. I am not going to be afraid to go against the grain or go against the tide. I am not going to be afraid to live in my truth versus the truth that others create for me. I am not going to be afraid of dot 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 dot. And I think that is also becomes a part of affirmations as a woman. Like just telling yourself like, I don't have to be afraid of this poor outcome because I rather believe in this greater outcome that I know is coming my way. So when you put aside that half glass half empty mentality and instead choose to dwell in glass half full, you will unlock and harvest a power within yourself that you never knew you possessed. And I think that that is one of the secrets of becoming successful in life is like, I cannot, like I have to improve my degrees of separation. I cannot surround myself with people who are doing ridiculous things because I'm too close. I'm too close. I'm too close. I'm way too close. That's why people say things like divorce is contagious, being single is contagious. People, women who congregate around one another, their menstrual cycles start to sync up. This is like ritual. This is ancestral. It's hereditary, like genetic, like whatever you want to call it, chemical, whatever you want to call it. It is all of those things because you are too close to the life that you do not want. You are way too close to it. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, then it is up to you. It is totally up to you to say to yourself, how can I get closer to the life that I do want? How can I get closer to the life that I do want? How can I? How can I? And I want to circle back to that conversation I started about women who tell themselves lies. Um, and I want to say that I think we all do it to some degree, but I want to talk about women who specifically create delusional realities for themselves and like actually believe the delusions that they create for themselves and like what I think that means underneath the surface. So when you are somebody who's suffering from whether it's mental illness or high functioning depression, um there are a certain amount of things, a certain amount of rituals, a certain amount of behaviors you have to create for yourself in order to function as a normal rational human being in the world. Because to exist outside of the reality you create would mean you would have to acknowledge the horror of your circumstances. And I know that's a strong word, horror, but it's true. Like in order to function, in order to get up every day and go to work, or to get up every day and cook, or get up every day and wash, or get up every day and take care of your kids, or get up every day and do whatever it is you need to get up every day and do, a woman who is suffering mental health wise or high functioning depression, which is very prevalent amongst Black women that a lot of people do not talk about, you literally have to create a set of things structured, like a structured reality for yourself where you can perform and you sometimes have to suppress emotions that would be way too overwhelming if you actually had to face them. And you then begin to tell yourself these lies and these half truths and these omissions of facts, right? Because it goes a little bit down a rabbit hole, but lies of omission are still lies. So if you omit facts, you are lying, right? But that is something that some people do when they have to function in the world because there's no other way to get by. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're like creating a world that is palatable for yourself because acknowledging what's really there would be too painful, then I would encourage you to talk to somebody. And I think that there are different people you can talk to. Like, there's different people you can talk to. Sometimes you want to talk to your therapist, a mental health provider, um, which they're trained to kind of give you that advice and help you get through that situation from a mental health perspective. Make sure you don't do anything to unalive yourself, right? That's mental health. But to have somebody in your life to hold you accountable to the reality and not the falsehood you create, and sometimes that could be a parent, sometimes that could be a friend, sometimes that could be, maybe it's somebody you really a trusted advisor. But you got to have somebody in your life that can kind of say you are operating from a glass half empty mentality, and that glass half empty mentality has you in survival mode, and that survival mode has you creating delusions that are not real, that you're like, you're in your shadow phase, right? Like you're in a total lunar eclipse. That, like, I literally talk to people like that. Like, you are in a total I think it would be a solar eclipse, right? When the sun covers the moon. Don't quote me. I'm not in my science mode yet. But it's like you are literally, when you know how when the moon goes over the sun, I think that's a lunar eclipse, I think. So when the moon goes over the sun, right? Think of yourself as the sun. Like the sun is everything in the universe surrounds the sun. Everything, the sun controls, it's the biggest star, right, in the universe. Think of yourself as the sun. When you are operating in a glass half empty mentality, that is, you're allowing the moon to overshadow, like, the phases, the darkness, right? The clouded judgment to overshadow what's really there, was what needs to burn brightly. What needs to burn bright? You're like hiding yourself. And it's not good. It's not good. You know, Sometimes it's better to believe, it's necessary to believe that there is a better life for you outside of the environment you have created for yourself, and that you don't need to let anybody else's phase in life put you less than 1 degree of separation from some BS in your life. 1 degree of separation from bankruptcy, poverty, starvation, homelessness, drug abuse, domestic violence, cheating, STDs. Like, you don't need to let nobody in your life remove that degree of separation from you, because that's your power. Your power is your ability to create a better life for yourself. You can't create a better life for nobody else that don't want it for them. You can educate them, you can coach them, you can train them, you can give them the tools to solve problems. You can do all of those things, but ultimately they got to take action. So while they're going through their phase, their levels of development, you need to ask yourself, am I going to stick by these phases and these levels of development? And how does your phase and level of development impact me? Because we both have to make a choice here. You can choose to do nonsense and create habits and patterns and rituals and nonsense that's going to put you in the grave, that might put you in jail, that might put you in financial destitution. And I can either agree and stay and enjoy and watch the show and get myself a lot closer to that situation, or I can head the other direction. I can head the other direction. But ultimately, you have to be responsible for what you choose to put up with. You cannot blame that on anybody else. And you cannot create a delusional reality in which you placate the bullshit of people who do not deserve to be in your life and for people who don't bring anything positive to your life. You got to take accountability for yourself. You got to take accountability for yourself. So that was my little word for the day. Let me look in the chat and see if anybody made any comments. You know, I be talking and driving. We do it to convince ourselves that things aren't as bad as we seem. Absolutely. But things are as bad as they seem. And just because you convince yourself it's not, does not change the facts of the circumstance. It does not. And one day you're not going to be able to convince yourself. Like I was going to do a whole live on Anna Delvey, which I wrote my whole stuff out, like my bullet points. I just haven't done it yet. But it's about that show Inventing Anna. I was going to do a whole live about it. Like, that is the epitome of creating a life that you want and believing your own delusions. Ultimately, it blows up in your face. Like, it's only but so far you can push the envelope. It's only but so far. And yes, you can manifest a better life for yourself. You can lie your way. You can lie forward, right? You can fail forward. Like, that's one of the quotes from the movie. Failing forward. Men do it all the time. It's true. You can fail forward. But in order for you to fail forward, you need to be getting yourself in rooms and in circles and around people who are putting you in better degrees of separation from the life that you want, not the life that you do not want. If you surround yourself, if the people who are in your immediate household, that are in your immediate touchable future, do not represent the life that you want, but those are the people that you invest your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being into, you are literally manifesting the life that you do not want, and you cannot undo that level of work. You are too close. You are too close. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You are too close. You are too close.